Hey guys, it's Joe Walker here. What the flipping hell is going on? In today's video, we're discussing 8 different ways to shove it. So when I started skateboarding, I learned ollies and then I learned shove its. And then from there, I just kind of like learned several variations of the shove it. And I kind of took it for granted. They were just kind of like the same trick over and over for a while, then it got to like front shoves, and now I'm at a point where I know 8 different variations of the shove it. So if you can't shove it, check out this video because it's got like 90,000 views and thousands of people have learned how to shove it. So definitely encourage you to check that one out if you can't shove it, or if you need to slightly improve your shove it, because once you can shove it, you are then in a position to learn literally 7 other tricks relatively easily. So the first trick on the list, as you've probably guessed, is the shove it or the pop shove it. There are some people who think that the two are different tricks. That's me, simply because that they feel very different. And I've always preferred the shove it. It just feels a lot more natural to me. And there are some who think that they're the same trick, and that's absolutely fine. What I'd encourage you to do if you're learning how to shove it or pop shove it is just learn the one that feels the easiest. For most people, I think this is the shove it rather than the pop shove it. I will leave tutorials to both, simply because the back foot action and the front foot action are very different in both. So check those videos out if you can't shove it or pop shove it, and see which one works for you, and then go with that. The next trick on the list is the nollie shove. This is the one that I learned after I learned how to shove it, and I actually managed to nail this one first time. It feels very easy to do, and I think it's because there is minimal risk of harming yourself. You're riding along in nollie, you do like a scoop with the back foot, you kind of hover and let your momentum take you with the board and then just land back on it. It is very easy. There's no chance of hitting your shins, there's no chance of really slipping out. You just literally push back and land back on the board. It's very simple. Definitely give it a go. There are some, me included, who actually find this easier than the regular shove it. So definitely give the nollie shove a go. The third trick on the list, and again, this is arguably easier than a regular shove it, is the fakie shove it. There are those who will learn this before they learn how to shove it, and that is absolutely fine. And it's simply because for me, there's no push with the front foot necessary. It's just the scoop with the back foot, and the board spins in the direction you're traveling anyway, and you just land back on it. It's a brilliant trick for just getting the shove it rotation down in your head and getting that feeling of landing back on the board before you take it to the regular shove it. It's third on my list simply because it was third on my list. I learned shove it, nollie shove it, and then fakie shove it. But fakie shove it, definitely give it a go if you can or cannot shove it. The fourth trick on my list is the front side pop shove it, and you are going to have to pop this trick. Doing this trick as a shove it, I just don't think it would work. You'd probably slip out. I don't actually know if it's possible. I'm not going to try. I absolutely love front side shove it. I just absolutely love this trick. This is one of my favorite tricks, and it is very simply a pop and push with the back foot, raise your front foot, get really high in the air, really pop that board down into the ground, and then push it slightly forwards, let the rotation happen under you and land back on the board and just roll away. This trick is a brilliant trick. I find this trick going front side so much easier than the back side rotation of the board. I don't know why. Some people are different. Some people prefer the pop shove it, some people prefer the front side pop shove it. It's like me. It doesn't really matter, but definitely give the front side pop shove it a go, especially if you're struggling with pop shove its and you're struggling and struggling and struggling. If you've never tried a front side pop shove it, definitely give it a try. It was fourth on my list and I landed it really quickly. I have made a tutorial video on that as well, and I will leave that down in the description below, so please check that out. I cannot stress enough how awesome this trick is, and this trick is like the prerequisite for like your varial heels. you know, and several fakie and nollie shove tricks. So definitely give a frontside pop shove it a go today. It is an awesome trick. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit more complex. We've got the fakie frontside shove as the 5th variation of the shove. Now the fakie frontside shove takes a little bit of figuring out, and once you have it, it's then relatively easy, but at first it can feel really weird. Your nollie shoves are definitely going to help you with the idea of the trick, and your frontside shoves are definitely going to help you with the footwork. But I think with the fakie frontside shove, you're very blind. I felt blind to where the board was going, but again, like with the frontside pop shove it, just give it a nice pop and shove forward, let everything happen under you, and just hope that the board is there when you're ready to land on it. It's a decent trick, definitely give it a go. I'm pretty sketchy at them, but I do like them. I definitely do like them. They feel a bit weird, but they start to feel more comfortable over time, and they will definitely help you with like your muscle memory and your body movements for other tricks, especially fakie tricks. So definitely give a fakie frontside shove it a go. It's an awesome trick. The next trick on the list is the nollie frontside shove it. So this is like the exact opposite of a fakie shove. So you'd think it'd feel pretty easy, but for me these actually feel a little bit weird even still. It's basically just the same thing. So the board just literally rotates 180 in front of you and you land back on it, but things being in nollie, they just feel a little bit trickier. So just work with it, try and figure it out. With nollie tricks, what I found is keeping my shoulders square and trying to keep myself parallel over the board really helps. Just really thinking about like leaning into the board. You have a tendency to sort of like lean this way or that way to kind of like compensate for being in nollie, I guess. You kind of like feel like you're in the wrong positioning on the board. Just keep everything centered. Just try and like do a little scoop with your front foot and then just move with the board and land on it. And that's kind of how I figured out a nollie frontside shove. If I'm getting that right, the one where the board rotates in front of you, a nollie frontside shove. Awesome trick. Be cool to throw that in a game of skate against someone who doesn't really practice their nollie tricks, because you'd probably get a letter for them on that one. Definitely check out a nollie frontside shove. The 7th trick on my list was the switch shove it. Now in retrospect, I should have learnt this last, because it's certainly the one that I find the hardest. And the 8th trick, which is the switch frontside shove it, I should have learnt this here or even before, because I actually find that trick a lot easier than a lot of the tricks I've actually mentioned. But the 7th trick I learnt was the switch pop shove it. I've landed it a few times moving, I've landed it multiple times stationary. I'm going to show you a demonstration of it stationary. It's literally just a shove it, but in switch. Just do everything the same, just you've got to repeat until you get comfortable with it. That's what I'm working with at the moment, just to get my switch game a little bit more tighter and just work with it. It's a back foot scoop, it's a front foot push, it's a hunch the shoulders forward, and it's a land on the board. It's as simple as that, but it's in switch, so it makes things a little bit more complicated. But as you get more comfortable with switch, you get more comfortable with the switch shove it. So stick at it, it's an awesome trick. The 8th and final trick on the shove it list is the switch frontside shove it. And this one I recently learned, and it came so easy to me. I think I landed it 2nd try, 3rd try, and it's literally just that nollie frontside shove that we previously discussed, which was the 2nd trick I ever sort of learned, but in just sort of regular stance, sort of switch stance. Just a nice pop and push with the back foot, and let the board rotate backwards under you and land back on it. It feels pretty easy if you've got nollie shoves down and regular frontside shove it's down. If you can do both of those, the switch frontside shove it should come relatively easy to you. So guys, I really hope this video has helped give you some motivation for which tricks to learn next. Shove it tricks for beginners like myself are seriously important for learning board control, foot positioning, body control when on a skateboard. So don't disregard shove tricks, don't rush into flip tricks. Shove tricks are seriously important. They're a massive part of skateboarding, especially when you're starting to dabble in the 360 game like I am now. They become extremely important in that point. So I really hope that this has given you some idea of which tricks to pursue next after you've learned the shove it or the pop shove it. And once again, I do encourage you to check out the tutorial videos for the different variations of the shove it and pop shove it in the description below. Helped a lot of people learn how to shove it, pop shove it and frontside shove it. If you're struggling with those tricks, check out those videos, they might help. How's your shove it game, guys? Are you working on any variations of the shove it? Do you need help with any variations of the shove it? Please do leave it down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. I want to say a huge thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.